Hey everyone, welcome to our team meeting tonight for Team Nailed It. We are super excited to talk to you guys about our takeaways from Tony Robbins. Just so you know, I invited everyone on the team to come to this event in Denver. Only a handful of people were able to come. And so it was an amazing event. I'm going to mute you guys real quick. Hang on. Super amazing. Like, you guys, I took 38 pages of notes. No joke. Like, this whole thing is full. So it was that good. So we thought we'd share some of the stuff we learned because it was all personal development stuff that we wanted to pass on to you guys. It was like, so it was on a Friday, so it started at 8 a.m. and didn't get out till 7 p.m. And you guys, it was like physically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually draining. We all left and we were just like, oh my gosh, we're so tired. But it was just so good. They had a ton of speakers, including like Gary Vaynerchuk, who is the author of Jab, Jab, Right Hook and Crush It. Who were some of the other speakers? I'm going to unmute you, Stacy and Katie and Amanda. Is Kathy on yet?
I'm driving my kid to church. So.
Okay.
It was Rob, the dude from Shark Tank.
Oh, yeah.
Gary V, who loves me. And
yeah. Gary V totally looked straight at Stacy and started talking to her because she was laughing so hard. He was like, right, you get it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because he was totally calling out, he was totally saying a truth bomb.
Yeah, he's basically making fun of my husband, so I thought it was hilarious.
He was saying, stop just like doing like just personal development and start actually like doing, like start taking action. Don't just like get inspired, like do something about it. So, hey Erin, I'm unmuting you too. So anyway, we're just gonna hop right in because this thing cuts us off in like 35 minutes. So I think we have a lot to say. So let's see. I will start with. Gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. Do any of you guys want to start? Do any of you have to hop off quickly? Like Erin or Stacey?
No, I'm just
Sterling.
I have screaming children.
I have a screaming child in the back. So.
And a very grumpy husband.
Well, do you want to go first in case you need a ditch out?
Well, you guys were just talking about the guy from Shark Tank. I can never say his last name, but I thought it was pretty cool at the very end when he was talking about the Cadillac and like finding your Cadillac and how, you guys didn't talk about that yet, right?
No, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So, his dad, like, the Cadillac was kind of like it for him. Like, a Lamborghini or Ferrari didn't mean anything, but a Cadillac was like, you made it and you succeeded. And it just goes to show, like, we all need to find what that is for us, what our drive is, what gets us out of bed in the morning. Like he was saying, like, what keeps us, hi, Erin, you're the big picture right now on my computer. What keeps you going when you sleep 2 hours a night, that kind of thing, which I don't think any of us are really wanting to do, but, just like, what's your thing? And it's different for everybody. And I think it's really good to think about that. And when you're like not feeling motivated, to think about what your drive is. And I really liked his story, and I'm sure it felt so amazing for him to be able to give that to his dad eventually. So that was my takeaway from his we like missed the first half, but from the second half of his.
Yeah. He said you have to find a purpose greater than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So like, being able to help other people with their business, or even being able to bless your family's life, because if it's just all for you, like that just doesn't have as much meaning. So when there's more meaning in it, then it makes it more like, it just has more purpose and gives you more drive. I totally agree. You got to find your why. You got to find what pisses you off, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have to be dissatisfied with the status quo times your vision of what's possible.
Exactly. Yeah, Stacy has a whole presentation on that. She's going to give us one day.
Someday, yes.
When she's not driving in her car.
Yeah, when she's not driving.
Yeah, exactly.
What was your favorite, Erin? What was your favorite takeaway? Like, what was one of the biggest things that kind of stood out to you?
Like a million things. I keep going back through here and trying to figure out what my favorite point was, or my favorite part was. I think that one of the things that stood out to me, let me find this in here. One of the things that really like affected me to the core was, if you want a great life, this is from Tony Robbins. If you want a great life, you need to trade in your expectations for appreciation, and your whole life will change. Like, I think that as women in this current world, we just want things to happen fast. We all want to be Kelly, right? We all want to advance in the company as quickly as Kelly has, which it's like mind-blowing how fast Kelly has become a national executive, and she deserves it. She's worked hard for a very long time to be where she's at. And so I think that, especially me being family, I'm like, oh my gosh, Kelly's my cousin. I have to be exactly like her. And so I've had these expectations on myself for months. Like, well, it'll be 1 full year on Friday for me since I signed up. Aww. And I have these expectations, and I just need to stop and put those expectations. Like, it's okay to have goals, and it's okay to have things that I'm going to aspire for. But if I can't appreciate all the things that are happening along the way, then it's pointless. Like, it's not worth it. So I just need to have a strategy instead of having expectations all the time. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah, and I love he was like, replace it with gratitude.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, all of us that are here, we need to take things one day at a time. Like, what do we appreciate about what has happened today? Like, where's our gratitude, and what can we celebrate? And we need to be focusing on the current, where we are right now, and celebrating the things that are happening that are good in our lives, because that's what's going to put us in a better position to continue to move forward and to rank advance and to get the bigger paychecks and to have a team that you love and adore, and vice versa. So that's what really stood out to me the most, was that I need to trade in what my expectations are and just appreciate every little step of the way, because everybody's going to be different, and everybody's journey is going to be different, and that's okay. I'm a God-fearing person, and I believe that He has a plan for all of us, and that, everything is happening at the timing that it's supposed to. And when I look back over things, I realize that His hand has been in everything. And if you're not a God person, that's okay. I still feel like, and He even mentioned that it's either, He said, we need to have the 3 forces of creation, or we need to have focus, which is the power of absolute clarity and commitment. We need to have action, but massive action and massive execution. And then the third part of creation is grace, and that's either God or luck, whatever you believe in. So believe it or not, that actually plays a part in what we're making here, is having that grace in our lives. Like, and that's why I say everyone's journey is going to be different, because I may be working just as hard or even harder than other people, but there's that focus, that massive action, and then there's that grace. So there's so many factors that go into what's going to make us successful people. And if we stop and appreciate the good things that we have and the good things that are happening along the way, we're going to be content and happy with where we are.
Yeah, and to add to that, there was another speaker, and I can't remember his name. It was like Doug Nilsson. Is that it?
Hold on, I wrote his
Nelson.
name.
Oh yeah, that's Kathy's favorite, Doug Nelson.
He was so good. And he told the story about how he was like, listen, I'm doing everything right. Why am I not reaching my goals? And he said, he asked like this mentor, this older mentor, and the mentor was super blunt with him. And he was like, listen, you have to be a student of your results. So you have to find the missing pieces to the puzzle. And I loved that because it means you have to like sort of analyze what went well and what didn't. And like, I feel like that applies to all of us as stylists where like, you know, maybe you have a party and it flopped. That doesn't mean that you failed and that you should just give up, right? That means probably there's something, you know, you have to analyze, like be a student of your results, analyze your results and see what could you tweak to make it better. Maybe it was the timing. Maybe you did it like on a busy weekend, or maybe it was the hostess, or maybe you didn't coach them well enough, or maybe like you need to have different graphics and different wording, like, and so constantly refining your, you know, what you're doing and like just always like analyzing your results, I think can help you just continue to keep trying and make it better. Like, what was that quote? Katie, you shared a quote with us by Tony Robbins about trying. Do you remember what it said?
Oh, yeah.
We have a little message thread. And
if it's not working, try something else. So he was basically just saying, don't give up, right? If it's not working, don't like lose, you know, your power. Just try something.
And he's talking about it. And he was talking about how a baby, you would never, like, if a baby fell down once, you never tell it to not keep trying walking. Like, the baby tries it and tries it and tries until they actually walk. So keep trying until you're actually walking.
Yeah, I loved it. He said something like, he was like, if your baby, you know, doesn't walk the first time, you're not like, well, I guess you're just not meant to walk. Sorry. Like,
oh, well.
Sometimes we do that ourselves. Like, we're like, I guess I'm just not meant to recruit, or I'm just not good at parties or whatever. But it's like, no, you got to keep trying, like keep refining, keep trying. So love that.
Another thing Doug Nelson said that was really good is that your inside world creates your outside world. And I think that's where a lot of, you know, Kelly really pushes personal development with our team. And the way you feel about yourself is going to be obvious to everybody else, even if you don't think it's obvious. I'm kind of the master of disguise. I hide a lot of like my emotions and things that are going on, but eventually they come out and eventually they, you know, their scary faces are shown. So if you need to think about what you need to create on the inside, what you want to project on the outside. And he talked about how there's things that go into that. So we have our mental world, our emotional world, and our spiritual world. And all of those are on the inside, and then our physical world is on the outside. And we need to be constantly working and refining what's happening on the inside of our world so that we can better represent ourselves in the physical world or what everybody else sees from us.
And when the tree grows, you take care of the roots.
Yeah, not the roots.
Yeah, you have to take care of the roots. You have to take care of the base up here. Yes.
Yeah, his story was if you grow a fruit tree and it comes up with lemons and you're like, oh crap, it has lemons, and you pick all the lemons off and then you're like, okay, this is going to be an apple tree now. Well, if all you did was pick off the lemons, the things that weren't working or the things you didn't like about yourself, you just pick those off and toss them. Next year, it's still going to give you lemons. You're still going to get the same produce if you don't change the roots, if you don't change
your mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because it's like, yeah, we sometimes are like, oh, like, why can't I lose weight? Or why am I not getting these results? But then we have like a negative attitude, or we're putting out like negative energy or whatever. And so, yeah, I loved how he said roots create.
Yeah, Holly.
Right. Where's Amanda?
I saw her on here.
I think she's putting her face on.
There's a cat. She's got a cat right there.
Some of us don't care about our face. We just
I'm here, but remember, my phone died and I lost my pencil.
Hi.
Oh yeah.
So pretty.
Take
Look
notes
at
as much.
you.
Lost your pencil, phone
Come
died.
hang out with us. You don't get to
That
be on
sounds to
mute.
me like excuses, Amanda.
I know.
And they wanted me to jump a lot.
They did. We did.
My gosh.
Well,
It was very active.
My legs are just barely recovering.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, I slept for 48 hours afterwards.
Stacy's been so
Yeah, so-
sick.
let me explain what we're talking about, because you're like, what are you talking about? So when Tony Robbins spoke, he spoke for 4 hours straight, and he started off talking about energy, and he had us like he would turn on the
Jump.
music, have us jump and like dance and like go crazy. And you guys, by the end, it was sweaty, like there was a stench of BO in the entire room.
It wasn't us. We didn't smell it. It was
My Fitbit said my Apple Watch said I did a marathon.
I did not jump.
I did. I jumped a lot. My legs hurt a lot.
Yep, I boogied. So by the end, I was like, he's like, jump, and I'd be like, I can't do it.
Kelly, you tore it up.
It's been a 4-hour workout, dude. 4
It
hour
really
workout.
was.
But it was a very interesting point, right? Because he was saying, like, if you're feeling in the dumps or you're feeling depressed, you would never want to, like, jump around. And there's something about jumping and having a lot of energy to you that just gives you and the people around you positive vibes and, you know, just positive energy. And
Yeah, he's trying to get you to change, like switch off your vibe, like the energy that your vibe, like your energy level, and he was doing it by having us jump up and down and screaming and clapping and more jumping and then giving everyone high fives.
Clapping.
Yeah, he did.
That's how we clap.
oh my gosh, his claps are intense, aren't they?
He's very intense, even in his clapping.
Yes.
But I loved it because he talked about how, like, as kids, like, he talked a lot about who we were as kids and how sometimes, like, we go to school and we learn to, like, sit down and be still and, like, kind of, like, stifle that energy. And he's like, no, like, get excited about things. Let yourself get excited. Let yourself, like, put out that happy energy and that fun energy, which I think a lot of stylists do because this product is so fun and this business is so fun. And I think people can feed off that. Like, they can read your energy, even if it's online. Like, they can tell that you're excited. They can tell you love the product. They can tell you're a happy person, that you're positive. And so it's like, and I've mentioned this before, like, when you're having fun, people can see that and they are drawn to you and they're drawn to the product because of that. So he was kind of like, the gist of a lot of his talk was like, if you put out like that energy and if you're having fun, like, it's only going to lead to more success, because he said motion creates emotion. So sometimes he said to fake it till you make it, like literally with your physical body, you fake the excitement, you fake the smile, you fake it, because those motions create emotions. And he had us go through all these like role playing things, and it was crazy how we could create these like happy emotions, and then we could create these like I don't give a crap emotions. Like, you know, he had us do some role playing, and it was really interesting.
And it was about what you put out in the universe comes back to you. So if you put out the high vibe, energy, excitement, happiness, that's what you're going to get back too.
Yeah,
exactly. So like if you approach somebody and you're like, hey, I got this really cool product, you should try it.
Oh, you did that to me.
I know you want to do a nail bar. Like, is the nail bar like so cool? Like, you'll have so much fun there. Yeah. You can't be Eeyore and expect Tigger to come to your party. For real.
That's the best quote of tonight. I love that. It's so true, because he had everyone do it with a partner. Everyone. There were like how many people? 8,000?
Something.
Yeah, 75.
there was like an insane amount of people there, and he had us all do this role playing. And then he said, it was so interesting. He'd say, okay, so I want you guys to do a greeting where you're kind of uninterested and like, and he said, what did you, he said, was your energy high or low? And everyone would yell low. And he's like, did you, what do you say? Were your eyes wide or small? Like, and everyone would say like small, and would say, were you, I'm totally butchering.
Well, like
the body language, basically the body language of everyone that was meek and uninterested, was trying to do it uninterested. The body language was the same in the entire room for everyone. So that's kind of what he's getting the point is that we have the ingrained social norms, what body language we have when we're excited, when we're not excited. And so utilize those social norms and what we know is excited body language, and utilize that extrovertedness, the body language of being extrovert, excited, because that's what you're going to get back at you. Even if it's not your natural state, you use this state because that's the social norms, and everyone's going to be able to read that.
Exactly. It was crazy. Everyone had the same answers.
Yeah. Sorry, my voice is like crazy bad because I screamed all day on Thursday. And I still can't talk. Yes.
Wore her out. He wore her out.
It didn't work out. I had to sleep for 2 days. Slept.
So I actually lost 4 pounds while I was in Denver.
I did too.
Me too. I've lost 10 pounds in like 2 weeks.
I did not.
you guys should come back more often.
It's because you didn't jump, Amanda.
I ate a lot of nachos.
I ate them with you, but then I jumped.
I ran the marathon, so you know.
Yeah, so there's a lot of high energy there, but it was amazing how your energy, it made me think of when I used to work at this pizza place, and when I would go there, I would sometimes go, I was a cashier, and I would go and I'd be kind of in a grumpy mood, but then when I was the cashier, I felt like I needed to be friendly, and so I'd show up, and I was totally grumpy, but then I'd have customers come and be like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And by the end of the day, or by the end of the night, I'd be in the best mood ever because I was faking it. Like I was faking my happiness and my smile. And so I just thought it was, I just loved his thoughts about energy and how, you know, the energy we put out into the world, and like it comes back to us.
I gotta say, when he first came on, and I saw him, I think I shared this with you guys, but a lot when I was a kid. My dad took me to see him, and of course, like, as he's saying how long he's been doing this, I've been doing the math, and I'm like, okay, so if I was 12, you know, he was like young, and he was the same, although he has polished a lot of things that he does, but he was still able then to come up and talk for 4 hours straight. I mean, it's like so crazy. But he came on and I'm like, oh man, like I don't know if I'm like in the spirit for this. And then within probably 20 minutes, there was just something that happened like in that room where it was just this transformation of like, holy crap, he's really saying some pretty amazing things. It's kind of like when I talk to my husband about it now and he's like rolling his eyes. I'm like, if only I could get you there.
I know, right?
If only I could get you there and you could actually, you know, experience it. Because it's easy to kind of like not fully, if this isn't your kind of thing, to be like, I don't know.
Sounds crazy.
Yeah, but and even like kind of telling my friends and my husband about like quotes that I wrote down. I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds kind of like nutty, but it's all like so true, you know, like I don't know. It's just funny, but it's, I think, and I've been trying it, you know, people walk into my house and I'm like, hi, and they're like, what is wrong with you? You know?
I've been trying it on my live videos too, where I'm like, hey,
what's going on? But yeah, I think there is something to it, right? And especially when he was talking about like, who do you want to hang out with? Do you want to hang out with somebody that's, you know, happy and in a good mood, or somebody that's Debbie Downer? Like, you know.
Right.
And even if you're not Debbie Downer, like take a minute and look at the way you're portraying yourself.
Yeah.
Because some people just aren't like super exciting and outgoing and want to talk and smile and do all that. And it doesn't mean that they're like a negative person, but
yes,
if you want people to be attracted to you, as far, I mean, we're good looking people, of course, but if they want to be attracted to our energy and who we are and join our teams and become a part of this incredible business, think about what attracted you to the person who you signed up with. What were they, someone that called you and be like, yeah, this company's pretty cool. Sorry, my neighbor comes and he'll probably ring the doorbell like 400 times. He's crazy. Anyway, so like, think of what attracted you to the person you signed up with, and try to portray yourself, like, look at yourself and be like, okay, maybe I'm not a Debbie Downer, but am I someone that's excited and ready for everybody to come and join me and be a part of my team because this is amazing and I'm so excited about it? Or am I just like, yeah, it's pretty fun. It goes pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, so just, one of the things he said is the quality of our lives is where we live emotionally. So if we're always just kind of emotionally trapped in the things that we can't control or the things that we don't have or the parts of our lives that we're trying to make better, then that's going to portray the quality of our life. So we're not, you know, we need to, can you guys word that better for me?
No, you said it perfectly.
Because so, I mean,
if we focus on the lack of what we lack, then we're going to attract more lack, not more abundance.
Mom, this is my job.
I think she muted herself.
Yeah, it's true.
I liked when he talked about the 2 master skills of life, because of course we're all like, okay, right? Like that would be good to know.
Yeah.
And he said the science of achievement. And then the second one was master the art of fulfillment. So, you know, kind of like the why, our why, and what fulfills us, like really, really fulfills us, not material things, but like what gets us out of bed in the morning. And that kind of breaks it down a bit to, you know, it's like if you can figure out those 2 things, you're good.
Well, and he said, don't you want to live an extraordinary life, not just an okay life, not just a good life. You want to live an extraordinary life. So you need to decide what you really want. What is going to make your life extraordinary? Stop and think about it. Is it your family? Is it having children that are productive? Or is it making $10 million? Or is it, you know, just having $500 extra in your account every month? It's different for everybody, but what makes your life extraordinary? What do you want and how are you going to get there?
Yeah, he said he knows like around like 50, you know, he was saying out of like 50 of my millionaire friends, he said probably about only 6 of them are happy. And so he said success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, because he consults a lot of like millionaires and like actors and athletes and stuff, and if they don't have that fulfillment factor, like then they're missing something.
And progress is the secret to happiness.
He brought up Robin Williams as an example.
Oh gosh, yeah. that was really hard.
Yeah.
Robin Williams made the whole world laugh, right? And clearly there was something wrong personally where he himself was not fulfilled and he was not happy. And so, you know, he did what he did and he left this life. But you can't make everybody else happy if you're not happy yourself.
Yeah. And so he gave those 3, he said basically like what Erin was saying, focus, massive action. Well, and it comes with focus. He talked about clarity and commitment, which I really liked, because I do think commitment's a big part of it, you know, sticking around when things get hard, sticking with it for the long haul. And then he said, where focus goes, energy flows, which I think is so, so true. Whatever you focus on, that's where energy goes. That's where things happen. And then massive action, which is huge. I really think that's, you know, just taking action, starting sloppy, just making tons of mistakes. I just shared a video in Team Nailed It today. In the last 5 minutes, she talks about, I just make mistakes really fast. And I was like, I love that. She's like, I fail fast. And that's how she succeeds, is she fails fast. So she's like, oops, I made a mistake. Let's fix it. Oops, I made another. Let's fix it. Oops, and she's refining that by failing fast. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's genius. That is what it is, you know? It's the people that are brave enough to make mistakes and make a lot of them really fast. They're the ones who go far, and they're the ones who, go far fast.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that he said that kind of goes along with that is he says success leaves clues. So take a look at the things that are going right for you and look for those little clues of what did I do right there? Instead of always focusing on what went wrong, say, okay, this went well for me, or this went well for Kelly, or this went well for Aaron or Amanda or Kathy. These went well to them. What clues are they leaving me that I need to pick up on and apply into that massive action that I need to make? Because, yeah.
No, I was just going to quote that too. I loved that quote by Jim Rohn. And I think notice those patterns. And that's why we have the Google Drive for our whole team. Because those are things that have worked for us. So try them. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Try them and then refine them and make them work for you. And notice, and again, be a student of your results.
And he also said complexity is the enemy of execution.
Yeah.
So stop making it so hard. Just take it one little piece at a time and execute one thing at a time. And eventually it's going to come together in one big picture for you. I know that I try to do way too many things all at once. And hearing him say that, I was like, oh, that's part of my problem. I try to do all these I have all these great ideas and I'm like, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this and this. And then I do a very small amount of each one, and then they're not successful. And so I'm making it too complex, and it's making it hard to execute.
Yeah, and Gary Vaynerchuk and Tony Robbins both said something similar. They said, if you add more value than anyone else in your category, you win. So if you're constantly adding value to people's lives, then you're going to be you are going to be successful. If you're constantly helping people on your team, or even just sharing posts that are valuable, sharing your best tips. Gary Vaynerchuk said, share your best tips, because guess what? 98% of people aren't even going to do them. Number one. Number two, just sharing those tips, sharing that, so sharing those things, people are going to feel like they can trust you, and they, they're getting so much from you. So being a go-giver, if you guys haven't read the book Go-Giver, got to read that one. Anyone, Stacy, you want to talk about Gary Vaynerchuk?
He noticed her.
Oh yeah. My gosh. That was so funny.
That was so funny.
Stacy laughed so loud that he came over to that end of the stage and pointed Stacy out.
Dude, Katie, I want that video. I have video proof.
Yeah.
It's in my group.
Katie, no, you need to download it and send it to me. That's why
I'll try from my computer. I couldn't do it from my phone. It was pretty funny.
Okay,
we have 3 minutes, so you got to hurry.
Oh, sorry. So Gary's thing is basically, again, about the whole, if you add more value, compete. The other thing is, know your tools. Know your tools that you're working with. Know, social media, know Facebook ads, know these tools that are coming up for marketing, and don't be scared to use them. Don't be like, oh, that's for the young kids to let. No, that's what people are on. Get on your phone, figure out the tools, and get her done. I mean, that was one of the basics that I took away, was don't talk yourself out that you're too cool for any kind of tools or any kind of, get on Snapchat or get on Facebook ads before the prices go up and things like that. So that was one of the big things. He built his whole business around Google ads when they're 19 cents a piece. Now they're $19 a click. So things like that, looking for what's that next wave and jumping on it, and not being scared to jump on something first.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And he also said that people should. Oh wait, go ahead.
Sorry. Just, he was saying how Facebook ads, I was expecting honestly for him to say Facebook ads are a waste of money, because that's kind of what you hear. And he was like, figure it out, go home, spend 6 hours, figure out how to do it right. And that's the best thing you can do for your business. I mean, which I haven't done yet. Has anybody
I haven't done yet. I'm working on it. But the one thing I wanted to say that he also said too is, are you willing to work? Because the secret to success is work. Everybody says work smarter, not harder. And he said, that's bull S. You want to work smarter and harder. Like, ladies, you have to work hard and you have to be willing to work hard. If you're looking for the easy way out to make the millions, in any job, that's the wrong attitude to have. You need to say, I am willing to work hard to make this business work. So you have to work smarter and harder. And the secret to success is work.
Yeah. And I'm going to leave you guys with 3 questions that Tony asked us, okay? Before time's up. What does an extraordinary life look like? What has prevented you from making that happen? What do you need to do to change it? So answer those 3 questions, and maybe that will give you a little more clarity. Anyway, it was amazing. If you're Tony, go see him. And thanks you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye.